Vladimir Putin has arrived in Vietnam for a two-day state visit. The Russian leader was welcomed in Vietnam's capital, Hanoi, with a 21-gun salute during a military ceremony. The Vietnamese president congratulated Putin on his re-election and even praised Russia's achievements, including domestic political stability. Now, Putin's visit to the Asian country has drawn major criticism from the United States and from Vietnam's other top trading partners, all of whom had earlier warned the risk of normalizing relations with Russia, calling them a blatant violation of international law. The spokesperson for the U.S. Embassy in Hanoi also criticized the trip, saying, quote, "No country should give Putin a platform to promote his war of aggression and otherwise allow him to normalize his atrocities," end quote. Now, much like Putin's visit to North Korea, the trip to Vietnam could signal deepening relations between the two nations as Putin looks to garner concrete support amid international sanctions over his grinding war in Ukraine.
Russia attaches great importance to the issues of further strengthening the traditionally friendly Russian-Vietnamese comprehensive strategic relations, strategic partnership relations. And these relations continue to develop progressively in the spirit of equality, mutual respect, and consideration of each other's interests. Our two nations agreed to research and expand cooperation in the fields of alternative sources of energy and clean energy, contributing to green transformation and sustainable development. The two sides will also strengthen defense and security cooperation in response to non-traditional security challenges based on the basis of international law, aimed to contribute to peace and security in the region and the world.
Now, analysts, on the other hand, question if the visit will in fact bring any tangible benefit to Vietnam and say it's instead a reflection of the historical ties shared by the two nations. Moscow, in fact, a long-standing friend of Hanoi, where many still remember the support given by the Soviet Union to Vietnam in the wars against France and the United States. The former Soviet Union was one of the first countries to establish diplomatic relations with the Vietnamese government of Ho Chi Minh. Though Russia is not a major source of trade for Vietnam, U.S. sanctions against Putin mean that the likelihood of a major economic announcement remain very low. Trade between the two countries stood at just $3.5 billion in 2022, which is far less than Vietnam's $175 billion in trade with China and the $123 billion with the United States. The Southeast Asian country marks the third nation that President Putin has visited after China and North Korea since he was sworn in for a fifth term in May. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.